Hey guys, it's King. Welcome to another episode of Get Prepped Podcast, where we talk with voice actors, nonprofit leaders, and business owners about going to be in the game. Get prepped. Today we have an incredibly versatile actor. You might know him as Thanos within some Marvel media. You might know him from Street Fighter, Tekken. He is Isaac Singleton Jr. Thanks for coming on, Isaac.
Hello, I'm very happy to be invited. Thank you very much.
Of course. My first question for you is, how did you get into voice acting?
This goes way back to when I was in college. Really, I mean, I was an economics major, and I took a theater course one semester just because I've always been in public speaking since I was in ninth grade, and I decided to take a theater course that semester. And just a long and shorten the story all the way down, I started doing voiceovers for the theater department there and doing some live things there, and realized I was supposed to be an actor instead of a commodities broker. And so God has shown me some signs since I was a little kid I was supposed to be an actor. And I said, okay, God, that's what I'll do. And that's what I've been doing ever since. So that happened that way. And, you know, when I got to Orlando, I went to University of Central Florida, started doing some local commercials there. And then when I moved to California, I was actually at lunch one day, and a guy at the table next to me asked me if I did voiceover. And I said, yes. And he invited me to come audition for one of the roles he was doing for an anime he was doing. I got the voice of Incognito in the anime called Hellsing. And then he started calling some of his director friends. They started hiring me. And eventually I got with a really good agency, and they started getting me out more and more. And that's how this voiceover stuff happened. But I really came out here because I wanted to do film and TV, which is I do also. So, yeah, that's just a short version of the story, but that's what happened.
That's definitely a good way to get into voice acting. I myself am a communications major with a tech background, so I can definitely relate. My next question for you is, what was your favorite role to take on in your career?
Man, there's been different ones for different reasons. I definitely loved being in Pirates of the Caribbean. That was an excellent film to be a part of. Great team, working with Jerry Bruckheimer and his team and all the people that were on the set. But I also did an episode on Arliss when I got out here to California. Arliss was with Robert Wall, and he was a sports agent, and I one of his clients, and they couldn't script it because they wanted me to speak where you could understand what I was saying, but not understand what I was saying at the same time. So let me use my improv skills and make up my dialogue in that show. So that was a lot of fun. And then there's just been other ones for different reasons. I got to work with Jack Nicholson and Adam Sandler, so that was great. You know, I've worked with a lot of great people. So each one of them, it's almost like when you talk to a woman and say, hey, who's your favorite child? Well, they say they can't say they have a favorite child, but you know, there's some movies that just resonate with me, and a lot of them I just love being on the film because I love acting.
I definitely respect that. And Pirates of the Caribbean was something I grew up on, so I definitely understand why you liked that role. Johnny Depp's awesome. My next question for you is, what was a funny or challenging on-set experience that you've had that you can share with us?
A funny or challenging experience that I've had on the set. Well, let's go back to Pirates of the Caribbean. I remember one day there was Johnny and I. We were working on the set by ourselves that day, and they had us on a gimbal stage. A gimbal stage is a stage that sits up off the ground or the floor, and it actually rocks back and forth because they were trying to simulate the bottom of the ship or the bowels of the ship below. And they had this water that was about 6 inches deep, as if the ship was taking on water, and it kept shellacking the floor with this glistening like material that made it even glisten more in the water with the camera. And so there was a scene where I'm supposed to take Johnny by the shoulder and march him to his cell and shove him into the cell and slam the door behind him. Anyway, Gore Verbinski says action. I start walking in, but it's my feet or my shoes didn't have any traction on it at all. So one moment I was standing up, next moment I'm slipping, and I fell and splashed down. And he yelled, cut. And I just looked up at Johnny and said, aren't you glad I let go of your shoulder? Because I hadn't let go of his shoulder. He would have come down there with me. So that was funny.
That definitely sounds funny. My next question for you is, what's something you've learned over the course of your acting career that you wish you knew when you first started?
You know what? I think that I'm constantly always trying to learn as far as make my acting skills better, because I want to make these characters come to life for the directors, the producers, and most importantly, for the people who are consuming my income. So studying is one of the most important things, I'd say. So I enjoy doing that, and that's why I continue to do that over and over again, year after year. But I think the most important thing I've learned, and I kind of already knew, because as a human being and as a person, as a citizen of the world, you just got to be friendly. I think you've got to be friendly. There's no attitude when it comes to me being on a set. I'm not looking down upon anybody. I'm 6 foot tall, so I look down on them, but I'm not looking down on them in a way of like, hey, I'm better than you or you're better than me kind of a deal. We all just treat each other with respect and dignity. That's the thing that's most important. And everybody gets along better on the set when you treat each other with respect and dignity. I think that's the best thing to do.
I absolutely agree. Not just with acting specifically, but with any field. It's about
in general. So I think that, because being on a film or TV is just a small microcosm of what the world is like, because there's people who are working together trying to get this project done. And everybody's goal is to make the project come to life and make it good. So why not be a beacon of light up on the set and be somebody who you easy to talk to, easy to get along with, and someone who that people want to be around. So I think that's the most important thing.
I absolutely agree. My last question for you is, if you could take on the role of any character, past or present, who would it be and why?
Man, there's so many characters out there. Who would it be and why? Man, okay, gosh, you can't even. There's so many different types of characters out there in the world that are some are even villains I would like to play, because I like to play, because I'm such a good guy. I like playing villains because they're more fun. I mean, even like you said, I got to play Thanos from Marvel's cartoons and their video games. And Thanos is just so much fun to play because he gets to say the stuff the good guys can't say. You know what I mean? And he's funny. He's got comic. He's a megalomaniac. He feels like whatever you think is going on, I know better than all of you. Just let me have my way and everybody else will be happy. I think that's just funny. I don't know. I like playing villains. I do. Villains are fun. So yeah, I really enjoy those. Maybe because I'm a nice guy. I've always been a nice guy. So playing villains is so much more fun because they're such an opposite of who I am as a person.
I can definitely understand that. Anyways, that's going to do it for this interview, guys. Thank you so much to Isaac for coming on and sharing his story. If you guys want to see more amazing interviews with those involved in the game, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Get Prep channel. And to learn more about the game, scan the QR code here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.